HarperCollins presents The Last Letter from London by Pam Lecky, read by Melanie Machugh. 1. 12th of March, 1944, Tony Anderson's flat, Paddington, London. Sarah woke up slowly, luxuriating in her drowsiness, reluctant to let the day intrude and break the spell of her slumber. As she yawned, she stretched her legs down into the cooler part of the bed. She wriggled her toes and was about to doze off again when a footstep close by brought her fully awake. Sarah opened one eye and couldn't believe it. Tony was up, half-dressed and looking mightily pleased with the world. "Morning, sleepyhead," he said, leaning down to ruffle her hair before he stepped over to the window. Whistling under his breath, he opened the curtains and flipped the blackout blind up before peering out. "Hey!" Sarah exclaimed, turning away. "The sun's right in my eyes." "It's a fine morning, Irish. Would be a shame to waste it. Up you get." Sarah glanced at the alarm clock and groaned. "And it will still be a fine morning in an hour or so. Come back to bed," she said. "It's far too early." Tony grinned. "As tempting as that invitation is, no can do." Then he quirked his mouth in that cute way he had. "Some of us have work to do." The grumble left her mouth before she could stop it. "Not today, surely. It's Sunday," she said, wiggling into a sitting position. "I thought we'd have the day together. I haven't seen you in weeks." "Sorry," he said, looking slightly sheepish. "I have a desk groaning under the weight of files I need to read. I'm always behind with my paperwork." He grimaced. "Not my favourite part of the job. If I don't clear it today, I'll be behind all week." "But can't it wait, even a couple of hours?" "Madam, don't you know there is a war on?" he exclaimed, throwing her a cocky look over his shoulder. He uses that mantra far too often, Sarah thought, her good mood slipping. She whipped the pillow, which still bore the imprint of his head, from the bed beside her and chucked it at him. Tony sidestepped it easily and laughed. "You'll have to do better than that, sweetheart." "Be thankful it wasn't something more solid," she muttered. His ridiculous workload was becoming all too frequent an issue. When he had returned from his stint in France, she had been overjoyed, thinking they would get to know each other better. But all too often Tony would disappear for days or weeks on end, his new posting invariably the reason. During his absences, there was no communication from him, something she found just as frustrating as the time demands of his job. However, she was reluctant to bring it up and spoil the mood this morning, especially as she'd already been up half the night ruminating over those very grievances. Not that it was Tony's fault. His role demanded total commitment. She understood that only too well. Besides, everyone was under strain, with no end to the war in sight. She too had moments when her thoughts turned bleak. Everyone tried to keep positive, but behind closed doors, Sarah suspected most people succumbed to gloom every so often. Even Tony, who was usually very upbeat. Just last night, as she had stared into the darkness, Tony had tossed and turned in the bed beside her, clearly also troubled by something. "You were very restless during the night. Bad dreams again?" she asked. "I don't recall. My mind's busy with work, that's all. Sorry if I disturbed you," he replied, still looking out the window. But she wasn't convinced. Sarah could sense the barrier, the warning. Don't probe. Ever since his return from France, she had noticed his sleep was disturbed. However, whenever she queried it, he brushed her off. Why would he not confide in her? It was the same when she asked about his childhood and his family. He would brush her off with a flippant comment and change the subject. Not that her own childhood had been wonderful, far from it. A drunk and abusive father who had terrified them all, and a mother worn down by poverty and fear, subject to their father's violence on the flimsiest of excuses. Sarah's own bruises were long gone, but some scars remained, the mental ones. Perhaps something similar had happened to Tony, but such things seemed impossible for men to open up about. Tony picked a clean shirt from the wardrobe and put it on. Sarah watched him
Sample complete. Ready to continue?